Today, we will be reviewing the EA Prometheus MT5 Expert Advisor by Mr. Evgeny Aksinov. So, we can start off here on the sales page to get an idea of how this bot works. And as we can see here, it claims to have no grid, no martingale, and that it uses a stable, reliable system. And what's particularly interesting is that he does mention that he has a very long dated live signal. So we have some interesting trading statistics to go through. He had also posted a detailed description in this blog post. What I've noticed is that the link is currently dead. So unfortunately, it does not take us anywhere. We can go up here as well and see that the strategy optimization is supposedly using a GPT AI. He could be mentioning that when he was developing the system himself, he was using a GPT to help him in his process. And this is a reasonable thing to state. I think effectively every programmer by now uses GPTs to code faster. And perhaps you can also use it to analyze your backtest information and give you some data. That is a good function of a GPT. So from what I can see, the actual EA will likely not use a GPT function to take trades. However, it may have been used in the strategy and the EA development process. So let's click through here to see how the system works. There's not a ton of information being given, but from this little picture here, it appears to be a somewhat of a breakout-based system. And it seems to be bidirectional, so taking both longs and shorts. And we can also see that it trades gold on the H1 time frame. From the signals, it appears to trade both gold and US 30, which is actually a pretty logical choice, because a lot of the strategies like the breakout, support and resistance based strategies, which work well on gold, do also oftentimes work reasonably well on the US 30. And this is because they're both generally trending assets, which have very low spreads and are volatile. So a lot of the same conditions which lend gold well to breakout, support and resistance based systems also work well for US 30 because they have a lot of similar characteristics. So not getting a ton more from the sales page. So let's hop over here to the signal page. And we're seeing a very reliable long-term signal. It's taking both losses and wins, but appears to be extremely consistent. So far, it's looking very impressive. And here, if we scroll back, we can see that there's many months of data trading both the US 30 and XAU USD. So really looking very solid. It's a pretty impressive system. Let's look at the statistics here. And we're seeing that, it's a high win rate scalping type system. And I wouldn't be surprised if the average trade, the winner is significantly smaller than the loser. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Average profit, average loss. Yes, makes total sense. Typically with this type of scalping system, you want to use an inverted risk reward system. And that's what we're seeing here. This makes sense. They almost always perform better with this type of risk reward. So it's completely logical that he's doing this. Here, if we hop over to I think this is the high risk setting, we're seeing absolutely massive growth in equity. We are seeing a pullback here towards the end, but I wouldn't be surprised if this coincides with the choppy price action, which was around the election, where these types of systems did not perform well. I have a few myself, and it was a relatively painful month due to that choppiness. But as of the past few weeks, we have been seeing some good recoveries there. So likely the system will continue to perform well going forward. And here, a similar robust trading history where we're seeing several months of data. So from what I can see so far, this is looking really good. Appears to be an honest system. We will run a visual backtest to confirm, but I'm thinking support and resistance breakouts. And here I've taken the liberty of downloading the Expert Advisor and running a quick backtest. And we're seeing here that it turned $10,000 into $100,000 over the scope of a year. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a degree of significant leverage going on here. And like perhaps a little bit of over optimization, but you can't really blame people too much for that. It tends to happen reasonably frequently in MQL5. I still think, from what I can see from such as the statistics like the win rate and the average loss, the average win, this still appears to be a legitimate system in my opinion. So maybe a little bit of like making it seem a little bit better in backtesting than in live performance, because this is just like a crazy return on investment. But the system itself does appear to be solid, so I think it would likely still perform reasonably well in a live setting, and we've seen that from the signals as well, that the actual performance live has been very good. So the final thing which I'll do today is I will run a visual backtest just to get an even better idea of how this system works. So let me just bring this bad boy over. And we let it take a few trades. So we are seeing, it doesn't look like a classic breakout system. I'm now going to run it to see if it's placing pending orders. No, it appears to be placing market orders so far. That's very interesting. Let's run it a bit longer just to see how it's deciding to take entries and exits. That's very neat. So perhaps some degree of breakout or trend following, like we are seeing a level here being broken and it continuing to push through. But there's minimal indicators being shown. And here, perhaps a prior level, there was a break there. Like here we saw a break. Here we're seeing that, like this was also a level which could have broken through. And on the short side as well, like this was a zone where we saw a short which was a fail. And then here as well a level where there was a long. So it doesn't appear to be a classic minima maxima breakout system. There is a little bit more nuance here. The most stereotypical version of this is you place pending orders at support and resistance levels, which are defined by minimas and maximas. And upon break of that level, you would enter a position with a trailing stop loss. What we're seeing here is they are entering with market orders, and the levels are not defined as pure minimas and maximas. So it would appear to be more of a zone-based system, but still based on a breakout and level premise. However, I don't know 100% for sure. So this is my hypothesis that it's breakouts of zones, but we would need to do a bit more digging to know for a definitive answer. I'll run it for a little bit more just to get some information here. So breakout, but it's also taking some shorts. So maybe just to wrap up here, it's a bidirectional system. It's entering with market orders. It is taking like orders in a semi-breakout manner, but not based on pure minima and maxima. So there is a zone element here. From what I can see from the backtest, they look almost a little bit too good to be true. But the actual system, if you look at the statistics of the win rate versus the risk reward, that does appear to be legitimate. At the same time, the live signals are really solid. So this does appear to be a real legitimate system. Could be a little bit worthwhile maybe messaging the developer to learn a bit more about how the strategy works, just to get a bit more comfort with it. But it definitely seems like a pretty solid EA. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stick around for the following short clip where we will share an EA with you, and have yourselves a great day. Before you click away, if you're looking to get a real expert advisor, here at Prosperity Algo Solutions, we're currently offering our golden time bomb system based on automating the London breakout and opening range breakout 100% for free. Watch the pinned video to find out more and to get access.